Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. I've got some exciting updates for all of you who bleed bleu, blanc, et rouge. The Montreal Canadiens are once again at the center of some serious discussions, and I promise, what's happening right now could have long-lasting implications for the franchise's future. We all know that the offseason is a time of change, a time for strategic moves, and the Canadiens are not holding back. They've been aggressive in their efforts, and with the recent moves, they're clearly signaling that they're aiming for a stronger, more competitive team in the upcoming season. But what's really catching everyone's attention is the potential shakeup in the Atlantic Division, one that could significantly alter the landscape of the NHL as we know it. Right now, the Canadiens have been actively shaping their roster, not just with small tweaks but with some bold, strategic decisions. They've already made a couple of key acquisitions, bringing in defenseman Noah Dobson and forward Zachary Bolduc. These are not just random moves, they are part of a bigger picture, part of Gorton's plan to build a more balanced, versatile team. Gorton, as many of you know, has been very vocal about the team's direction, emphasizing the importance of acquiring core pieces at the right age and with the right talent. But even with these moves, whispers of more to come are swirling around. And one of the most talked about topics right now is the possibility of the Canadiens making a move for a second-line center. This is where the story gets even more interesting. According to NHL analyst Adam Wilde from SDPN, the Canadiens might be considering trading one of their more intriguing assets, Patrik Laine. Yes, Laine. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Laine, a former second overall pick, a guy with incredible goal-scoring ability, a sniper who can light the lamp with ease. But here's the thing, Wilde believes that Laine might not fit perfectly into the Canadiens' long-term plans. And honestly, it's a conversation worth having. Laine, in his final year of a 4-year, $34.8 million deal, has shown flashes of brilliance but hasn't quite lived up to that second overall hype. Still, he's a goal scorer, a power play specialist, someone who can change the course of a game in a split second. Last season, Laine managed to score 20 goals and added 13 assists for a total of 33 points in 52 games. That's not a bad stat line, especially considering he dealt with some injury issues throughout the year. The injuries hampered his performance, and as the season progressed, it was clear that he was playing through some pain. The coaching staff, led by Martin St. Louis, had to make some tough decisions, including benching him down the stretch and in the playoffs. St. Louis explained that these decisions were necessary to give the team the best chance to succeed, especially when players are struggling with injuries. Laine only appeared in 2 playoff games, providing an assist but no goals, which left many fans and analysts wondering what the future holds for this talented yet sometimes inconsistent scorer. But here's where it gets really intriguing. Wilde suggests that the Canadiens could leverage Laine's trade value to acquire a much-needed second-line center. This is a move that could transform Montreal's forward core, giving them a true playmaker in the middle of the ice, someone to set up the likes of Cole Caulfield and Juraj Slafkovsky. And let's be honest, that's something they desperately need. The Canadiens have been searching for that consistent, reliable second-line center for quite some time now. They've tried different combinations, but nothing has truly clicked. So the idea of trading Laine, who still has considerable offensive upside, in exchange for that kind of player, makes strategic sense. It's all about maximizing assets and filling gaps in the roster to make the team more competitive from top to bottom. Now, I know some of you might be worried about losing Laine, especially given his goal-scoring talent. But let's remember, this is a team that's still in a rebuilding phase, trying to find the right pieces to compete consistently. Gorton and the front office are not afraid to make bold moves if it means setting the franchise up for sustained success. They are thinking long-term, and sometimes that means making tough decisions in the short term. Trading Laine could open up cap space, create roster flexibility, and bring in that elusive second-line center that Montreal has been craving. And it's not just about trading for a center either. The assets gained from trading Laine could be used in other ways, perhaps to acquire a veteran defenseman or another piece that fits into the Canadiens' core. The potential trade market for Laine is buzzing, with several teams showing interest in a dynamic goal scorer. The key is whether Montreal's front office can capitalize on this interest and get the best possible return. Gorton has been very clear that they're open to making moves if they see value, and the current buzz suggests that they're exploring all options. But it's also worth noting that the Canadiens aren't just looking to get rid of Laine for the sake of it. They see him as a valuable asset, a player with a high offensive ceiling who just needs the right environment and consistent health to thrive. If they can find the right trade partner, someone who values what Laine can bring to the table, they might pull the trigger. But if the right deal doesn't materialize, they could very well keep him and try to rebuild around his scoring talent. It's a delicate balancing act, and Gorton and his team are carefully weighing all options. Meanwhile, the team's offseason moves indicate a clear intent to contend sooner rather than later. The Dobson and Bolduc acquisitions are part of that plan, providing a solid foundation of young talent. Dobson, coming from the New York Islanders, is a strong, mobile defenseman who brings size and skill to the blue line. Bolduc, a promising forward prospect, is someone the Canadiens see as a potential future star, with a high hockey IQ and a scoring touch. These moves show that Montreal is aiming for a blend of experienced, reliable players and young prospects ready to take the next step. But let's not forget, the NHL is a league where nothing is set in stone. The trade deadline is months away, and plenty can change between now and then. The Canadiens could still be in the market for a second-line center, and if the right opportunity presents itself, they won't hesitate. Gorton's comments about waiting to see how things develop suggest that Montreal remains flexible, ready to pounce if a deal makes sense. They're not just sitting back and watching, they're actively shaping the team's future with every move they make. And for us, fans of the Canadiens, that's an exciting prospect. It means we're on the cusp of a potentially transformative season, one where strategic moves could put Montreal back into the playoff picture with a more balanced and potent roster. The team has shown resilience and a desire to improve, and the front office's willingness to explore trades and maximize assets demonstrates a commitment to winning. We all know the Canadiens have a rich history, filled with legendary players and unforgettable Stanley Cup runs. The current management is clearly trying to recapture that magic by making smart, calculated moves that can lead to success in the years ahead. So, as we look forward to the upcoming season, keep an eye on how these discussions unfold. Will Montreal trade Laine? Will they use those assets to acquire a second-line center? Or will they hold on to their current pieces and continue building through internal development? Whatever happens, one thing is certain: the Canadiens are not standing still. They're actively reshaping their roster, aiming for that elusive goal of bringing another Stanley Cup back to Montreal. And for us fans, that's the kind of excitement we crave. It's a time of change, a time of hope, and a time to rally behind our team, no matter what the future holds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? Do you think the Canadiens should trade Patrik Laine in exchange for a second-line center? Or do you believe they should hold on to him and build around his scoring ability? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the Canadiens' future. Remember, this is a team that's always evolving, always looking for ways to improve, and your voice is part of that process. I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and more news about the Canadiens, so stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting our team through thick and thin. The road to another Stanley Cup might be complex, but with a smart front office, a dedicated roster, and passionate fans like you, anything is possible. Thanks for being with me today, and as always, Forza Canadiens.